Hi, I'm Frankie, and in this video, I'm showing you how to create an Azure Function app in 3 minutes. We'll start in the Azure portal, where you can go ahead and type in Functions or Function App to get started. We'll find our Function app, and we'll get started creating it. We have 5 hosting options for our Function app to choose from. The first is consumption, where you only pay for the executions that actually occur within your Function app. This is good for basic functions, hobbyists, or anyone who's just getting started with Azure Functions. Flex consumption. In preview at the time of recording, this is your enterprise consumption tier. If you need a lot of scalability, you need extra instances, and you want to have virtual network capabilities, this is the option for you. Functions Premium. Also known as the Elastic Premium option, this is for functions that scale up and down but still need virtual network capabilities and are running all the time. You pay for the CPU and the memory usage per instance that you actually have running. It's unlike the execution style pay-as-you-go model that the last couple options use. The app service model uses dedicated compute. This is where your functions are going to go in an app service plan or an app service environment. It gives you more standard billing that you're going to have consistently, and it only pays for the compute the same way you'd pay for an app service plan in a standard app service. Going the container apps route allows you to pay for the CPU and the memory the same way any container app is paid for, and this is good if you want to take advantage of the microservice capabilities within Azure Container Apps. I'll select the consumption option for this demo. Now we need to create the storage account for our Azure Functions. The Azure files within your storage account are what actually store your function files themselves. That's why this is necessary. The Azure Files connection is what allows your storage account to get updated more easily so your functions can update. Without this checked, you'd need to manually deploy files to your storage account in order to update your functions. Diagnostic settings make it more easy to understand what's going on underneath the hood for your Azure Functions. I won't select the diagnostic settings now. When using Azure Functions, I have the option to make it publicly accessible to the internet or not. If I choose to not, I need to have private endpoints set up that can access the Azure function. Otherwise, I won't be able to get to it. And network injection is only available in the other hosting options. I won't use that now. When you create your Azure function, you have the option to create an application insights instance along with it. This can help you improve and monitor the status of your application in order to keep it improving it in the future. I'll choose to have it created and move on. For deployment, I could choose to set up CI/CD using GitHub if I want to make changes to a specific repository and have those updates reflect easily in my Azure function. I won't set that up, nor will I allow basic authentication in order to access my Azure function. Finally, all that's left is to create my function app. And once that's created, I'll be able to create functions within my function app. Now that my function app is created, I can start creating functions within my function app in 3 different ways. I can do that within the Azure portal, I can do it within VS Code, or I could use a CLI or another editor that I choose. If you want to learn more about Azure Functions, you can find any of the following links here and in the description. If this video was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And if you missed the overview video on Azure Functions, you can find that video here. Thanks, see you in the next one.